Hello again. We're going to visit the robot project again for a little bit. In this case, we're just going to try and mount the electronics. I mentioned before that I was going to try and get this done, and I was going to try and do a nice wiring job. I ordered some stuff for it, but I just figured I just got to get this thing done. So I'm doing a complete hack here to try and get it in place. Just measured out some plexiglass and then took the rotary cutter and chopped it off. And I figured I'd mount stuff vertically instead. So I'm just trying to get some idea for how the two motor controllers in the Arduino were going to mount, and played around some different brackets to get things mounted. The reason I didn't want to mount it on top of the robot was I've got to put the optical sensors in and a few other things, and I just thought it was just going to get too crowded and get in the way. I wanted to leave that side of it open. So I figured I'd just do this quick hack and get it... go for a vertical mounting. So I've got these two brackets in. They're relatively secure. I'm trying to keep it relatively balanced towards the center so that the robot is evenly weight distributed. And for mounting it, I've got some nice M3 nylon standoffs on order and things, and that's the way I'd like to mount it. But I just forget it. Let's just mount this thing. So I just grabbed some hot glue and stuck them on. I tried to get the hot glue away from any traces so that if I did have to take them off, it shouldn't damage the boards at all. And also I put the two motor controllers opposite directions so that the wires can go in without getting in the way of each other. And I put the battery on the back. It leaves me some room so later on I can put a prototype board in there and things if I want. It actually turned out kind of well that way. So then I just thought let's wire up the motors and just see how that looks. So the ones on the motor controller side was actually quite straightforward. The wires were long enough, and then I got to the other side and I realized that these wires are not going to be able to reach. So I had one of two choices. One is I could take the wires off and put longer wires on, solder them right onto the motor, or I can try and extend the wires that I've got there. And I was lazy. It's probably the wrong lazy because I said, okay, I'm going to lengthen the wires, and it was probably more work to lengthen the wires than it was to just dismantle the robot and put new wires on. Anyway, stupid, I don't know. I guess I'll never know which was the right way to go. So anyway, some heat shrink tubing, solder on the new wires, tin the ends, snip everything down. I think I took the wrong approach here. But anyway, I was tired of staring at the thing. I just wanted to get it done. So, and it was fun to just get a little bit of soldering in. One thing with the heat shrink tubing is that when the wires were heating up, that the heat shrink was almost a little too tight for the wire, and the little bit of heat from soldering actually made the heat shrink. Made it a little bit difficult to get in there, but the rest of it all worked fine, and it's a good connection there now. So once I've got everything shrunk up, and I could start wiring it in. The downside was coming at it from the other side. I mean, I was thinking about maybe I'll drill a hole through it and run them through that way, or I'll just come over the top. And I just decided to go over the top and just something easy and get it done. But these wires were a little bit messy that way. So I just figured, okay, well, let's try and tie these down somewhere. I was going to just slam some more hot glue onto it, but I'm not sure that this is going to be the final position for these wires. So I just grabbed a stick-on tie wrap mount, popped it on the board, and threw a tie wrap in there, which is good enough. And that's the end result. I'll later on I'll do the wire up the battery properly and run some of the other wires. Like I say, I've got some room there for a prototype board, which I'll slap in there. But it's pretty good. See you next time.